Well, hello. Happy Good Friday, everybody. We're doing well. Hi, Diana. Hi, Howie. Diana, I'm so sorry. I have thought about you so many times over the last week. I ended up eating from a place we've never ate from here. Well, I haven't anyway. And good God, food poisoning was violent. Horrible. And it took quite a bit to recover from it. But I am back. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. We are definitely not short on all kinds of happenings. Although I have kept up with it with Twitter or X, frankly. But man, we got all kinds of craziness going on as usual. So let's get into it. Happy Friday. Again, I was out sick. I actually typed that. So yeah. But we are back, and man, there is never a shortage of what the hell is going on in this country and the people in it. Tonight we are looking at the new motion filed for Tyler Robinson, delay the preliminary hearing, and why. A little bitty bullet fragment found and ATF inconclusive report how the FBI that, quote, is not involved in this case. It's a Utah County state case. How the FBI currently has said fragment, running a lead test that in 2005 was deemed inaccurate and no longer to be used. Many people convicted on the basis of this testing. So then the question becomes if elements of that kind of analysis or legal theory rooted in it are still influencing interpretation today, what does that mean for the integrity of the findings? And then there is the physical evidence itself. We're told there was not an exit wound. Of course, we've seen video and we know there's not. If that's the case, where is the rest of the projectile? 30-06 projectile. So it entered, did not come out, no exit wound. All you got is a little fragment. So what do the recovered fragment or fragments actually account for, and what's missing? These are not fringe questions, they are foundational, because when science is unclear, incomplete, or outdated, the conclusions drawn from it deserve scrutiny, not silence. Tonight is not about speculation. It is not about it is about what is documented, what's being said, and what doesn't quite add up. I'm Cindy, let's get into it. I often find myself shaking my head and thinking, this can't be real on so many levels and so many things. But the reality is, it's real. And we are living this shit in real time. It feels like a bad soap opera from the way the president has claimed like 14 times now the war is over to turn around and find out, not even close. Vice President and Eric Kirk running in 2028, the smear campaign going on from the government to keep USA. It's like Bizarro World. It plays out in front of us, and for some reason, the president thinks he can say, look away, and it goes away. Firing Pam Bondi, I mean, I couldn't stand her, but we all know she was the president's little minion, lied and covered up for the Jeff files. She is fired. She is taking it like a good little soldier. She was made out to be. Oh, and him appointing his personal attorney to her position. Good times. Again, it's like going to vote at this point and just picking a poison to drink. But the new appointed attorney general, what Epstein files? Are we still talking about that? I have been sick, but damn sure not deaf or blind, Every time TPUSA is exposed in another lie, a whole new wave of paid shills come running with their incessant, constant barrage of trying to circle talk and manipulate the public. I would think after what, almost 8 months now, they would know and maybe try something different. We're still here. We still don't believe you. We still don't believe you. We're not going to believe you. When is someone in the government going to step up and take control? Back. Take control back. Make it make sense. I have seen TPUSA push hard at this. This is what Charlie wanted, down to making fake audio of Charlie's voice saying he wanted Erica to take over. It's like they think if they say it enough times, it will be true. This is disgusting, disturbing, outright wrong. They're continually using Charlie's name and his good name in hopes of making this work. They didn't count on us, on so many of us people seeing and knowing this isn't right. We can go back to tons of videos and posts of Charlie himself speaking his own true words. The truth is still true, no matter how many times you deny it. And a lie, still a lie, no matter how much it is asserted to be true. Hi, son. I am going to Arizona though. I'm booking my ticket and I'm coming. Ray is apparently not coming with me, so I'm on my own. That's okay. Got lots to cover there. Oh gosh, I've already mapped it out. There's so many things to go and check out there and get into. It's ridiculous. And hopefully Diana and I will get to meet up with you and we can have lunch or something. So guys, while I was down chilling in bed, whatever, I decided to go back and look at Charlie Kirk's. I mean, if anybody is on X, they see I am constantly fighting with these people. It's still called the Charlie Kirk show. They're still on Charlie Kirk's X. It's disgusting. So you're just continuously, even though you stabbed him in the back, you're going to use his good name to try and further your profit and benefit from his good name. And you have turned everything that he worked his entire life for into the complete opposite of what he was doing and how he felt. We all know this. No matter how many times they try to make it true on the shit that they spend, it's not. It's not. Nobody's buying it. So I went back and was just scrolling through his X from around the time of him being assassinated. And shockingly, I came across this. I guess I should share my screen. Hopefully everybody can see that. This is one of many things that I came across, shockingly. What is going on in Utah? He posted. And he posted this on September the 2nd, 2025 at 6:30 in the evening. Would like to point out who you see there as the top 2 commenters on that very post of what's going on in Utah. We got Adam Bartholomew. Our governor, Spencer Cox, his regularly appoints radical leftist activists to our courts for starters. And mind you, Phil Lyman. And before we read Phil's, Phil is a Republican. Governor Cox is a Republican. And Phil ran against Governor Cox on his own. So this is Phil's response. Spencer Cox, the red state governor who's not afraid to be woke, from his DEI initiatives, pronoun declarations, his veto of transgender sports bill, climate corpse programs, drivers, privilege cards for illegal aliens, and the only red state to do so. These, along with the growing LGBTQ agenda, are absolutely sharp left turn for Utah. This overt assault on Utah core values would never be tolerated by Utah voters, which is why overriding fraudulent elections is absolutely necessary. The people of Utah did not elect the illegitimate governor. Now, personally, I felt like when I seen this, I thought, oh, so not only had this been a plan in the works, and I was already sus of Adam Bartholomew and Phil Lyman, but they're baiting him. I mean, this verbatim, everything that Phil Lyman says here, he 100% knows. These are all the things that Charlie went campus to campus debating on every tour. So they were luring him. It was, in my opinion, allegedly, this is all set up to get him there, and thinking there was going to be some great debate, which anybody that's watched any of the videos knows that there was maybe a handful. Oh, I didn't see it. And I watched Valhalla. I did not see it. But as we know, there was a handful of people that supposedly opposed Charlie. And we know this because of Adam Bartholomew's wonderful rooftop video. He went over to the opposing people that were, in my opinion, allegedly part of the whole setup. I think everybody can remember at the beginning when Charlie started talking to the first speaker, the massive amounts of people that were, against Charlie coming, which you'll see on here, that they just speckled it here and there with, they didn't want him there. Everybody was receptive. I mean, he got the major cheering and screaming and a bunch of happy college kids, well, of the college kids that were actually there and not, strangely middle-aged adults. Maybe 15, 20 people that supposedly opposed his views and opinions and were radical. By radical, it was F you, Charlie. Well, of course, they said fuck you about 6 times. And this was them spinning the narrative right from jump, even before he even got there, even before he even hit the ground. And this disagree butter person is constantly on X right now to this day. This person is a paid shill. That's just all there is to it. It will break your heart. Take more than a passing glance. This is the shittiest group of actors I've ever seen in my life. So they even put it in the paper. Charlie Kirk's upcoming tour of Utah State University and Utah Valley University sparks controversy. Did it really, though? Charlie Kirk's upcoming tour in Utah State University and Utah Valley University sparks controversy. Activist social media personality Charlie Kirk schedules events at 2 Utah universities. Charlie Kirk, a conservative influencer, will make a tour stops in Utah next month. The protest has already started. Major protest, guys. There was major protests there. But we won't believe what our lying eyes showed us, and that was the major reception of the moment Charlie's vehicle pulled in there, of how many people were screaming with excitement and happiness. Yes, he was bait. They baited him. That is exactly what they did. They baited him. They're disgusting. They, you know, the evidence is overwhelming. That no one ever, unless you are a paid shill or paid TPUSA. So this is Blake Neff, which I take it personal every time I see Blake posting anything, because we know that Blake was at UVU. We know Blake was standing 10 feet away from Charlie when the event took off or happened. I'm not going to say shot because I don't believe that. Blake took off at Blake Neff speed, hauling ass out of there. And he's on here constantly saying Tyler Robinson is guilty. Well, now I got them on a whole ass campaign smearing me because I let it rip on Blake and said, here's some of it actually. The only tainting here is the people present outright saying he is guilty. There is a fucking gag order, so shut the fuck up, like I said. I don't think they expected, anybody to have a half a brain. And remember, hey, yo, if you're a possible witness in this, you're under a gag order. You're not allowed to be on social media saying that he's guilty. You're not allowed to be on there talking about it at all. And then we're going to start here with Charlie's own words.
Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. Was there a stand-down order? Whew. Was there a stand-down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is.
Yeah. Literally.
But the fact is now Bibi and the Israeli hard-right government has a mandate, I gotta be careful the way I say this, they're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. I mean, I don't use that term lightly, okay? They're talking about basically removing 2.5 million people from there, okay? And honestly, they have a mandate to go seek justice and revenge. They do. This idea that they need to have a truce or a peace treaty, that's morally crap after you see women and children be burned alive and dragged to the streets. But there are some serious questions here, Patrick. And let me tell you, my pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fires, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right.
What? Said from the man himself. Was it a different post, Howie? Because it wouldn't surprise me if it was deleted. I honestly was wondering if this was going to still be here because I ran my mouth on it. And if they were going to delete it before I had a chance to show it. But this is the kind of campaign that we have going on here. Israel isn't running shit. It's all a psyop. These aren't the good people. No. Let's listen to this.
That's because Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk at all. In addition to the DNA of 5 people being on the rifle that they pinned on Tyler Robinson, the Daily Mail reported, quote, defense attorneys now argue that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the ATF, was unable to identify the bullet recovered at autopsy to the rifle allegedly tied to Mr. Robinson. End quote. So, in other words, Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk. And guess what? No matter how many bullets the ATF tests, they won't find a match unless, of course, they rig the results, because Charlie Kirk wasn't killed with a bullet at all. And he wasn't killed by Tyler Robinson. And now Robinson's defense team says that the ATF's inability to link that rifle to the crime amounts to exculpatory evidence and that he should be immediately released. And that's pretty hard for anyone to argue with, really. Even.
And I agree. I agree. This is a shit show. I cannot definitively say that Tyler Robinson was not involved in some way, such as, you know, hey, go meet at this location and do this, do that kind of thing. But he did not kill Charlie Kirk. There's not a doubt in my mind. And hi, Shanti. I don't know how to say your name. Shanti? I am trying. It takes all of us. We got to keep fighting the good fight. If we don't tell it, nobody's going to. And then this is the paid chills that I will actually show you. I got where the FARA registration from Israel owns the media company that multiple of these people are on. Nobody loves dishonesty more than Candace Owens. Really. And this is just nonstop. It's all day, every day.
So Charlie was very well aware of the existence of evil, obviously. So were us on his team. You know, there's by the way, just one other conspiracy theory I just want to snuff out here. One of our dear friends that literally from the very beginning started with us and loved Charlie like a brother. He grabbed the SD cards out of the camera afterwards. And there's all these conspiracy videos about, like, why did he grab the SD cards? Well, first of all, they're in the possession of the FBI. Okay. It's not like he took them and like ran off with them. Second of all, I asked him personally, I said, why did you do that? And he looked at me and this was his answer. He said, because I know people can be evil. And he did not want that footage being grabbed by somebody. There was videos of people after the incident going and stealing hats off the table. I mean, so I'm so grateful he did that. And that was his instinct. He's like, I'm depressed to know that was why I did that. But I knew that I had to protect that footage because I wanted, I mean, you know, you're recording in like 4K, you know? And so I'm so glad he did that. But Charlie knew the existence of evil. And
well,
so,
can I just say, I think that people can feel the existence of evil, and that just to put in.
And that's Tucker Carlson, by the way, that's talking on there. Then we got Gary from Paramount that just can't stop making a fool out of himself. He just cannot stop. He sucks at it. They continue to allow him or pay him to put shit out there on behalf of them, and he screws it up every single time. God wins, you lose at Candace. God is with Erica. You cannot relate. Stay jealous, little girl. Evil like you is temporary. God always wins. Hope your demons stay disturbed. You evil psychopath and sociopath. Christ is king. Okay. So this is them showing a pan shot of another event that Erica was going to. Showing, oh, she's got a full crowded house. And of course I responded to this video and said, well, are you going to show the actual event once it kicks off and all these college kids get up there and they question the hell out of you about Charlie Kirk's death? Because that is what has been happening and is continuing to happen. So great, you can show us all that we don't give a shit. It changes nothing. Even the kids are asking questions. And then this is Gary at Paramount again. The forensic pathologist pulled fragments. Now it's multiple fragments out of Kirk's body. Not intact bullet. The sources said it is impossible to do ballistics analysis on a bullet fragment. The testing did positively confirm the spent shell casing found at the scene matched the suspected murder weapon. Okay, it's bullshit. We know this is bullshit. Experts debunked Tyler Robinson's ballistics claim, unable to identify. Is not the same as ruled out. Well, no, I beg to differ. If it's inconclusive, it's ruled out. That's what they do, is spin the narrative and try to... And this asshat, by the way, is just announced that he is running for some kind of stupid office. So I'm sure that was his attaboy for playing his role. And then this is actually... So Danks found this, and I don't know if you watch Danks. If you don't, you should. He uncovers all this shit about money. And he has received so many cease and desist letters. But what is really entertaining about it, that's all they do, is send cease and desist letters, because they know if they take it any further, they're subject to everything being outed, and they can't have that. So here we go. Did you know that the Charlie Kirk show, Josh Hammer, Dennis Prager, Laura Trump, Larry Elder, Hugh Hewitt, Dennis DeSouza, Sebastian Gorka, Brandon Tatum, and Todd Starnes all broadcast on a network whose chief strategy officer is federally registered foreign agent for the Israeli government. Not an allegation, not a theory. FARA registration. So Brad Parscale holds two titles simultaneously: Chief Strategy Officer at Salem Media Group, the largest Christian conservative radio network in America. Title 2, the Principal Clock Tower X LLC, registered foreign agent, $6 million contract with the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs via Havas Media Group in Germany. Actually, $9 million now. They grabbed another $3 million post-filing. The FARA filing states that Israeli government messaging gets integrated into Salem Media Network properties, but Salem never appears as disclosed vendor anywhere in the registration. The gap has a legal name: willful omission of material information in the foreign agent registration. That's not an opinion, that's a statute. And with Pam Bondi dissolved, the Foreign Malign Influence Center at DOJ, there's nobody left to enforce it. And then here is the FARA registration. Yeah, thanks can cover some serious numbers. So there's the Clock Tower LLC. Here's Bradley's name. As you see, the FARA registration, that is the government site. Oh, I put that out too quick, my bad. So this is Danks today actually saying Pam Bondi is a registered foreign agent for Qatar on record, public document. Her firm Ballard Partners was paid $115,000 per month by the Qatar embassy. Bondi was listed as key personnel, personally and substantially engaged. Her words: she lobbied Congress. Is her FARA. Big as shit. It does say sorry relations. Can't make this up, guys. Not make this up. So here is one of the
moving in the opposite.
Yeah, this is actually last night. And all I can say is Erica should thank God that Caroline was there to, step in for her.
Opposite direction. I know that Charlie was incredibly effective at communicating conservative values to young men, but many women my age seem to be moving in the opposite direction regarding like marriage and career. So what do you think needs to change to make the messaging more compelling to women my generation?
That's a good question, Erica.
From the
While
standpoint,
I sit here and think.
From the standpoint of telling them career versus family?
Yeah.
Well, from my experience, before I met Charlie, I did have my own company, but I built it in a way where once I met Charlie and then we got married and had a family, it could run on its own. So I could focus on being a wife and being with my kids. And that was my priority. That was everything to me. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all. There's single mothers out there. There's people that have different circumstances. I think you really need to pray about where the Lord is taking you. And if you do have a husband that's supportive and you are blessed to be a stay-at-home mom, that's just as much of a massive role and a job as being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You are the guardian of your home, and raising your children is the most precious blessing that you could have as a woman.
I know that Charlie was incredible.
I mean, she contradicts everything she says. You would think all the money that they put towards changing her image, maybe they should just have her not speak.
I don't have time. No, totally. There'll be
This is entertaining to me.
people that are like, did you see what they're saying about you on X? And I'm like, no, I don't have time. I don't have time. And actually, quite frankly, I really do not care. I am actually really busy right now playing Magnetiles, and that is way more
and changing
important,
diapers.
yes, than hearing the endless onslaught that really is just noise. No, totally. There'll be people that are like,
but we know she cares. We know that she watches X. We know that she has a massive little group of minions that are constantly smear campaigning anybody that mentions her name. And good God, did she have a meltdown over Drewski's video of her. And it was comedy. And it was great, Drewski. Just saying. You could put another one out there. It was awesome. And he got a cease and desist. Another one. They send him out like candy. And then, if you haven't heard, they're trying to infer that Charlie is on video and audio saying that if, in his demise, he appoints Erica. Drewski's parody was great. It was awesome. So this is Baron showing just, well, first of all, they won't release the video, and the audio once out there, I know they regret probably putting that out there, but it's not real.
I appoint Baron Coleman to be the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
Boom, Baron, congratulations. Congratulations. And does this look like a mother that is home playing whatever she said, stupid shit? No, she is always gone. Always gone. This is Blake at the last event that he went to.
Was alive. The reason Erica is front and center at Turning Point is because When Charlie was alive, people repeatedly asked, Charlie, we're worried something will happen to you. People always speculated that something could happen to Charlie. And when he was asked, he would first of all, he was totally fearless. He would just say, like, oh, it'll be fine. Erica will take over for me. That is what he said over and over. I saw them interact all the time, almost on a daily basis. Even when he was traveling, he was calling her all the time. He was talking to her all the time. Charlie and Erica were partners. They were husband and wife in a deep way. Their marriage was incredibly admirable. I've seen a lot of marriages. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Charlie and Erica's was exceptional. They were on the same wavelength. I saw how much that relationship, I didn't know Erica as well prior to Charlie's death, but especially in the wake of it, I saw how much everything he'd done meant to her and how completely committed she was to fulfilling his mission, what he had done in life, that she knew the life I thought I was going to live has changed very abruptly, but I am fearlessly going to embrace the new one because I know it's what I have to do for my husband and for his legacy. That is the reason she was put front and center. I don't believe so. And she hasn't really. She's become the CEO of the organization because that is what Charlie wanted, and it's because I saw it with all the people who were senior at Turning Point. There wasn't even a question that that is what would happen. There was no one forcing this. There was no one pressuring it to happen. This is what everyone at Turning Point wanted to happen.
So, if that was the case, wouldn't it just be natural? Why would it be necessary to have this whole campaign of, I can prove it, he said it, because it's not natural. And we've seen what we've seen. You can't unsee it. And I don't think so. I think that would be a heavy bombshell to find out if he did. Not that her goose shouldn't already be cooked anyway. And this is him saying, Candace, we haven't bothered playing because we know psychopathic predators like yourself do not care what is true or false, and normally evidentiary logic has no effect on you. You're the kind of person who sees coded messages in the number 33, but then ignores evidence like DNA on the rifle, or Tyler Robinson's own family members turning him in. Playing the audio at Amfest already wasn't enough. You'll obviously just say, it's AI, yeah. Or you clip together 2 clips of his voice. We gave up the possibility of any good faith conversation with you months ago. It's like trying to reason with a maniac, brandishing a knife and screaming at people on the subway. You're the same thing. So again, why do you feel the need to put shit out there and then you can't back it up? And that's exactly what they do. Yeah, Barron's great. And this is our president. Like, he doesn't have enough shit going on, or should, with, you know, the war that has been declared over 14 times or more. But, you know, he feels the need to...
A thing called Happy Easter. Do we have that? Everyone happy? Anybody that doesn't want... Hello, darling. Wow, this is a good table. I like that table.
I would keep my kids as far away from him as possible.
You're doing well, right? Okay. I think you should sue him, but, you know, I told her, you ought to sue somebody. They're so jealous of Erica. I said, you ought to sue their... I can say it. You're not allowed to say this. You have to be nicer. Sue their ass off.
Sue us, Erica. Sue our asses off. We know that's not going to happen. Why is it not going to happen? Does anybody got a good guess on why that's not going to happen? Oh, I know why. Why do I think it's not going to happen? Because then they are exposed to having to give up evidence that is hidden that nobody is allowed to see. Oh, wait, I'm lost. I don't even know what you're talking about. Here's Charlie in his own words. Boy. Here. Wives and husbands, wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and himself his Savior. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit in everything to their husbands. Husband loves your wives. Again, thank you for trying to make us believe that Charlie wanted you to be the vice president, or Charlie wanted you to, boot him out of his legacy and take over and become vice president with J.D. Vance, who is maybe or maybe not your brother. Allegedly, they kind of look alike. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. And then this was just days leading into Charlie's death, obviously. Was happy about Taylor Swift getting married. Okay, so this is another article about Utah State University consistently work towards stopping him from coming, which is funny. Great. That's great. They think we believe this. This Charlie Kirk, young women, they don't value having children, and this is one of the reasons why we are seeing a fertility collapse in the West. And I would like to point out, this is Charlie on September the 4th. You have to wonder if this is coordinated activity promoting the interests of India. Should trigger FARA registrations. Many accounts are obviously being paid to peddle this trash. What? What? From his own mouth. Who is paying for them and how much? We need answers. And that's what we're doing. We are Charlie now, and we want answers, and they don't like it. So if he wasn't willing to let this go, what makes them think that any of us are going to? This is Charlie, September the 5th. Western civilization is worth fighting for. I'm in Tennessee.
Beliefs in order to obtain. So I've found that in classes, I've had to kind of fake having liberal beliefs in order to obtain good grades. And even here, I'm in that philosophy class that the other girl was talking about, and our professor is telling us that Elon Musk is a neo-Nazi. And in my sociology class, we're learning that gender is a choice and is a spectrum.
Here at University of Tennessee?
Yes, sir. Yes.
How many of you guys think this place is too liberal? Raise your hand. I think that this school should start to get defunded unless they start kicking out CRT and gender. Who agrees that we should defund a lot of this? You guys agree? Oh, they're going to love me after this. By the way, we have this great crowd. All these professors that are pushing this stuff, fire them all and defund this place and teach the basics.
I was in Tennessee a couple days before he died, or was assassinated, and yes, I have actually heard it multiple times from multiple different people insinuating that they could be siblings. And Michael Aquino is definitely part of that mix. Of course, without doing DNA testing, we wouldn't know. And this is September the 6th. This bothered him immensely. The stabbing of this girl on the bus. And he was, in the short time he had left, not willing to let it go. This was him being kept busy when he was in South Korea.
Chairs, everyone is. Okay, everybody, I'm here in Seoul, South Korea. As you can see, everyone, they have these like inflatable cushy chairs. Everyone is reading. This would last about 35 seconds.
That was September 6th. So he was slammed, and they just kept hitting him with one thing right after another to do. So he literally, that was September 6th. He was still in Korea to come home. They had him double booked for everything. They booked him with his Charlie Kirk show to interview Ben Shapiro. He was pissed off about that and made Andrew Colvett do his show the next day, which he only did half of because we know that he pre-recorded the second half and was on a plane making this shit happen. But as you can see, with every bit of breath he had and the little bit of life he had left, he was fighting for justice for this girl. Reaching out to everybody, pastors, police, government, everybody. Do something. And he had high hopes, and the FBI, sadly, so, I mean, incessantly, that's all he did nonstop for days was, I stress out about his own threats on his life and put out here about this girl being killed. And he put out the petition for this judge to be removed that allowed the guy that killed her back out on the streets. And then there you go. That's their website launching soon. It's so disgusting. I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I'm not okay with her, becoming president or vice president. And then this is, oh dear, the Squibbers will have a field day with this. Gordon Hinshaw, Kelly Reban. Someone told me there was a multiple agency emergency simulation exercise at UVU on the 17th of June, 2025, simulating a mass casualty incident, bomb, blast. This is Elizabeth Lane. She is a investigative journalist. She was actually on the ground in Utah. And she was at it's either vice versa. She was at one location. I want to say she was at the opposite hospital of Timpanogos. And they had everything on lockdown. All the hospitals were on lockdown. Nobody was able to get in. I'm not about to read everything that she put on there. But as you can see, she's showing here, because you weren't allowed to have cameras or anything, but she's discreetly got her phone out, and it was that people were being turned away. And this wasn't even the hospital he was supposedly at. Hi, Parker. And then Brandy from the Billy and Brandy show. If you guys don't watch them, you should. They're awesome. They attend every single hearing for Tyler Robinson. And this is Blake yet again talking about the trial or the case. Tyler Robinson literally confessed to his parents and was turned in by them, and his DNA is all over the weapon used to kill Charlie. But some people are so obsessed with hating Israel, the same thing they are obsessed with literally every day, that they will try to help. Oh, but again, gag order, Blake. And we have Joe Kent.
And further, this week, President Trump will be under immense pressure to commit ground troops to the war in Iran. This would be a catastrophic escalation that will only result in more bloodshed and further escalate this disastrous war. It is critical that we, the people, have our voices heard. Contact the White House comment line, contact the Congressional Switchboard, ask for your representative, ask for your senators. Respectfully tell them that we do not support putting any boots on the ground in Iran. This is how we, the people, can have our voices heard. It's critical that we pray for peace, but it's also critical that we work towards peace. Respectfully contact your elected officials and let them know we, the people, do not support this war. Thank you. God bless. This week, President Trump will be under a...
I'd say same scenario. I don't believe that was... It's the same BS. So this was an event Allie Top Files found that I believe it's Blake.
I'm just...
This is the response that they're getting from students.
One person. But when it started, it was very difficult to hear because
I could hardly hear him. I was 25 feet from him. Of course, the speaker wasn't near me. Well, it was pointing out, but I agree. Yeah.
For us, I was kind of right in the middle, only to the side of Charlie.
My bad. He is so annoyed. Listen to how annoyed he is. They ask a question and anything that they have to say about that what else did they expect? This is back at UVU, by the way.
Was a group to your left, to my right, over there, that from my standpoint looks like a community of very strong dislikers of Charlie.
Yeah, there were some protesters. Yes.
And I would say there was 40, minimum 40, and they held huge signs. Huge signs, and they were, to me, they seemed to be LGBTQ community. So after it was over, and very disturbing, you know, and we're all shaken and trying to follow the news media and having the cameras just fanning and you know, like panoramic. The community that was over there was grass, like they were gone. I followed a lot, and it's hard to think that anything is really true of what goes on because of the media when it fans the whole area and watches people leaving, scrambling and frantic, and that area is grass. And
were they in a position to escape immediately?
No, it was before, and yeah, even after.
Okay, so what's I'm sorry, I've got a big long line. What's the main point you're getting at?
I just wondered, did you see those people? I mean, I think it's a part of.
I think as I understand it, that protesters were moved just before Charlie got there. I think that's what I was told. Maybe that's not right.
No, it's not right because I couldn't hear because we're like, oh, that group needs to chill.
Okay,
down.
so where are you going with this?
I'm just wondering if other people saw it, or was it only me?
I mean, could he be a bigger dick to her? And he's supposed to be a man of God. Shaking my head, Frank.
Saying they didn't do anything. There was no shot that came from them. There was no shot. Everybody I talked to yesterday, in fact,
yesterday.
Hold on.
Yesterday.
This is interesting. What's he actually going to say here?
Yeah.
So he was.
What is going on here?
So he was there a day before talking to people.
Did you have lunch with Hunter? He said Hunter about 12 times.
Well, and you just caught that he said he was there yesterday. So he was talking with these people yesterday.
Of course, he flew in there and he's chilling with people. So, okay. This girl's asking a valid question. He's getting a little bit angry with her. He doesn't want to answer the question. The shot didn't come from there. She didn't ask that.
No, she's just asking if anybody
never did.
Oh, I'm getting so upset, babe. She didn't, not at anybody, but this guy.
And this is Alley Top Files. But yeah, he was getting pissed off because she was not letting it go. And I agree. She was, I mean, and these people are legitimately trying, they want to know. But nobody wants, you know, they don't, they've already put themselves out on records, just saying so many things that you just can't take back. Once it's out there, it's out there. You can't unring that bell.
She didn't say the shot came from there. You know where they were holding up the banner. It's more on Charlie's left. So if we're looking at directly at it, it's on Charlie's right, and there was like all banned off.
Hold on. Before you start, she was just basically trying to ask if anybody had seen the protesters, and Frank had said that he was told or thought they were cleared out before Charlie got there. The lady said no, they didn't. They were there, and she just asked anybody else, did we notice these protesters?
He's so full of crap because everybody said they could get in, and there was no checking in on the floor and crawled on the floor. I have to play this again.
It's a part of.
I think as I understand it, that protesters were moved just before Charlie got there. I think that's what I was told. Maybe that's not right.
No, it's not right because I couldn't hear because we're like, oh, that group needs to chill.
Okay,
down.
so where are you going with this?
I'm just wondering if other people saw it or was it only me?
Saying they didn't do anything. There was no shot that came from them. Okay. There was no shot. Everybody I talked to yesterday.
Ask that.
In fact, Hunter was at the mic.
See, they just can't keep their mouth shut. Why would you feel the need? She never even said that. Why would you feel the need to make that a point to say? And if you didn't see this person is currently being, well, a cease and a desist. I don't know if they'll sue.
Especially because we have some points. I was really frustrated that you guys weren't able to have the counter tabling for the UNF America tour, and that really pissed me off. Especially because we have some really good people that could be on campus to counter program that.
Over you.
It is our right to express our freedom of speech on every public university campus across this country.
So we are still showing up at ASU on Monday, and we're going to exercise our First Amendment rights peacefully and publicly.
I'm sure the ASU thought that we were just going to take this lying down.
They don't get to decide who has a voice on campus.
This isn't just an attack against National Ground Game. This is an attack against Democrats all across the country.
So we'll see you Monday. See you soon, Erica.
I'd like to say she's as creepy as Erica, but, you know, I don't think anybody can take that role. She's got it nailed.
I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector. A pedophile protector. Pedophile protector. I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector, faggot. You're a pedophile protector. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. You're a pedophile.
Hard to believe he was FBI or still is because, you know, it doesn't. Yeah. Got Stu Peters, Israel killed, Charlie Kirk to cover up. Go straight to Trump administration. They needed this war and blood to wage it. Charlie was in the way, so they murdered him. Anyone who doesn't say this is either benefiting or complicity or they're retarded. I agree with Stu. And again, anybody that has not watched this video from Ian, I've showed it a couple times. You gotta go see it. It's on Ian Carroll on X. It's important. It should be watched. Everybody needs to see it. Where was I? So, this is attached is our notice to potential Turning Point USA witnesses regarding public out of court statements. This was December 16th. Please forward them to the witness identified in the notice, which we believe to be Eric Kirk. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. The Utah County Attorney's Office has identified blank and blank from Turning Point USA as potential witnesses at the trial or other hearings in the case against defendant Tyler Robinson in compliance with the district court's publicity order entered September the 16th, 2025, as clarified on December 15th, blank, and anyone else from Turning Point USA who was present at its Utah Valley University event in September 10th, 2025. All are under this rule in this gag order. So, violations? Apparently they didn't think that we were smart enough to get this, or everything is so bought and paid for and the outcome is already known that they just thought it was okay to get on there and run their mouths. It's and I don't know about you. Every time I see it, I definitely say something. We covered that. From John Bray, which if you haven't seen John Bray, you need to see John Bray. He is amazing. So he's basically showing that the battery pack that flung and actually pointed his shirt way up like this, it falls, you'll see it come down in this area. There it comes. I'm pretty certain this is what they were trying to... Hi, Kai. Pretty sure this is what... I don't even know what I was saying there. There's actually so many videos that you got to see where if you go look on John Bray's or watch Stu Peters' interview with John Bray, he breaks it down. I 100% believe this narrative, 100%. There's not a doubt in my mind. But since we were here, I did want to touch on right here. Good old Adam.
Okay. So I'm just like standing there like...
So this is Adam Bartholomew's video, or Scout out. And he would be the one person that commented, top person that commented on Charlie's the post of what's going on at UVU. Again, you will notice this guy was suspect to me right from the rip. This is not normal video. He was literally videoed every single rooftop. He's in with Phil Lyman. And we're not going to watch the whole thing. Sounds like a bunch of angry people pissed off about him being there, doesn't it?
USA! 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 USA!
What is he videotaping? That's making us nauseous. Doesn't sound like a bunch of people opposing Charlie Kirk. Of this entire long-ass hour 9-minute video, this was the best video that he got of any kind of interview. And he basically did half their heads and was covering, in my opinion, the back building. That's all he did was cover rooftops. Seriously. He literally covered every single location, play by play, right down to where supposed Tyler Robinson jumped off the corner of that building, which it wasn't Tyler Robinson, but he posted his camera up there. You can only do that if you know.
That's a human concept.
That's a human
We should like be accepting, and we should love other people.
I'm very atheist. I believe in that.
Society
I'm very atheist. I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Society doesn't work without us loving each other and getting along. Otherwise, there's.
What's that?
He just got shot! Holy shit! Holy shit! There's been a shooting. We heard shots. We heard shots.
Shots.
You guys okay? Okay, love you. Be safe. Okay, be safe. Bye.
Up there.
He was there to plant the narrative from the rip because they had this all covered down to a science, they thought. The majority of these people thought they heard a firecracker. By the time as they left here, it was Charlie Kirk was shot. I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. I saw Charlie Kirk get shot in the neck. They controlled the narrative from the beginning.
Safety team is here. I just heard them say the active shooter, Charlie Kirk, has been shot. Charlie Kirk got hit, is what the security detail
So
just
cringy.
said.
there's Terrell tampering all over the crime scene, standing in the very chair that Charlie was assassinated in. And this guy doesn't even look like he's got a care in the world. Like he didn't just see Charlie Kirk get lugged out of there. Not a care in the world. None of this is right. None of it is normal. It's all so weird. It's all fake and gay. They didn't have a whole lot of... I mean, you've seen the real reaction from the kids that were there. That was a real reaction. All the rest of these people are just lingering around so that they can plant the narrative. And I think if anybody watched Candace this week, she really dropped a bunch of bombshells with all the connections that Bibi Netanyahu and Mitt Romney in Utah. So now we know why it had to be done in Utah.
It's obviously a crime scene, but I don't think that
Butch
Charlie
Hibbs
can survive this unless the EMTs were close, and it was pretty, I mean, rated R level kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I
No
appreciate
problem.
your
You bet.
testimony.
You
there,
bet.
sir. Travel safe.
Thank you.
Love Candace too. Yeah. But you know, when she's got that hair pulled back, she is ready. And she was full of it this week. She only did 4 days this week, but man, you can see her glowing because she gets more information. And she knows that people are going to go nuts on X and start flipping out. You think Candace is a woman scorned? But I do have the motion, so I didn't just... So they can't come back at me and say that I spun this any other way. Here's the actual motion. And shout out to Kai. I love ya. And my JJ, Injustice, Octavia, Khaleesi, my son. Love you peoples. So on March 12th, 2026, Council for Parties met and conferred regarding discovery issues and evidence the state intends to present at the preliminary hearing. Based upon the state's representations at this meeting, the state intends to present discrete buckets of evidence through 3 identified law enforcement witnesses. This includes conclusory forensic DNA and ballistics reports authored by the FBI and the ATF, phone and social media data, testimony, and by that, I assume they mean the made-up Discord messages that the FBI was doing. Law enforcement officials about the crime scene and the search locations, and testimony by Mr. Robinson's parents and roommates. The state intends to offer a significant amount of hearsay identified in Utah Rule 1102 for use of the preliminary hearing, namely scientific, laboratory, or forensic reports, records pursuant to Rule 1102. And TPUSA is running with the narrative on X that Tyler Robinson's parents are testifying on behalf of the prosecution. Again, like we're stupid. They have no choice but to testify. They're going to identify that that is their son, and dad is going to identify that was his firearm or his dad's firearm. They're not testifying against their son. And stop trying to run with that narrative. Blake. In fact, Blake and everybody at TPUSA, you should probably just shut up because you're under a gag order. As I said. Shut up, Blake. Discovery in this case is incomplete, voluminous, and the processing of it is complex. Materials from the numerous local, state, and federal agency identified thus far is involved, in this case filtered through the Utah State Bureau of Investigations. That's the SBI. then sends materials to UCAO, where they reviewed, dates numbered and redacted if appropriate prior to being produced. And that's just legal talk. In total, the defense has received 20,000 files excluding digital electronic discovery provided by hard drive during March 12th hearing. Of these, the document images files contain approximately 61,500 pages. The audio files are approximately 31 hours in total length. Of more than 5,000 video files contain more than 700 hours of video. The digital electronic discovery received on March 12th amounts to approximately 12 terabytes of data and over 600,000 files. 600,000. They said, here you go, March 12th. We'll see you in May. So that's what this motion is for, is to move that date in May, because obviously they have a truckload of evidence that needs to be gone through. And it appears from this document that everything that they've released to the defense is only conclusions. So a conclusion on the autopsy report, a conclusion on the ATF report, a conclusion on this report. Well, how did we get there? How did you get there? Can we maybe have the whole thing in chain of custody, which is what they're saying in this motion? I don't think that's too much to ask. And it's his constitutional right, you know, that kind of thing. And then let's talk about the one little bitty fragment that they found, apparently being inconclusive and being sent to the FBI that is not involved in this case anymore. And they're doing the lead testing that is no longer a valid test to be done. So that's their go-to, is they hope nobody was going to find that and know that that testing is not allowed anymore and banned. And many people have been convicted on it wrongfully. And that's how they were going to make it make sense. But sorry, guys. You were found out again. So I don't know, I had a little bit of doubts in the beginning about whether his defense was all in it for him. Oh, good night, Diana. This just goes on with more of the legal stuff. But I do think his lawyers are in it for his good. Look at this guy. Kylie, you know who that is? Look at this guy. Anybody? That's Pastor Greg Locke from Tennessee with our vice president. So not that we didn't already know Greg was a paid shill, we definitely know now.
Just felt the need to keep saying 33. Take a listen.
And that was about, I think it was like 33 minutes before he was killed.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU in the afternoon. About a 33-hour manhunt ensued.
Bad stuff happens. And for
for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us.
In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
Yeah, we get it. 33. Look, it is, in my educated opinion, the most obvious signaling ever, alerting those that are in the cult that this was a hit that was done by the cult and for the cult. Now, never mind that out of all of the Freemason lodges in the world, every Freemason lodge has a number associated with it. The one that is in St. George, Utah, which is where Tyler Robinson was brought in, is lodge number 33. Okay, 33 also being the country code for Paris. Now, Americans are not used to the discussion about Freemasonry, so this all felt very new, and I feel like people weren't really ready to have this conversation because we go to public school, we're told, like Paul Revere, they don't tell you that thing. The French AP broke it. They broke the story regarding a trial that is taking place where the quote-unquote Freemason Lodge Mafia is facing charges for attempted murder. Oh, the Freemason Mafia. I feel like that's global. Let's read from this article, which came out in The Guardian, because it's just peachy, okay? It reads, quote, 22 people have gone on trial in France on charges of murder and other serious crimes centered on a Masonic lodge accused of running hit squads. 13 defendants, including former intelligence agents, soldiers, and businessmen, face possible life sentences. Prosecutors allege that the group carried out murder, attempted murder, aggravated assault, and criminal conspiracy on behalf of a mafia network inside the Athenor Lodge in the Paris suburb of Puteaux. At least 4 Freemasons from the lodge's roughly 20 members are among those in the dock. Other defendants include 4 officers from France's DGSE Foreign Intelligence Service, 3 police officers, 6 executives.
So we hear it with our own ears and see it with our own eyes, how many times they made it a point to say 33. And then if you go on X, they will flip that script on you and call us crazy.
And tried to say they heard the shot come from a different direction. He shut them down because they've already decided the narrative. He's not interested in getting to the bottom of what other people heard. And he had just flown back from a Student Action Summit, and he hosted his show on the morning of July 14th. He was under immediately a lot of pressure because on July 13th was Tuckergate. That's when Tucker got up and said some true things. He asked about where the heck Bill Ackman's money comes from. He said Bill Ackman is not impressive. A couple of weeks later, Bill Ackman would be hosting the notorious summit in the Hamptons, and that he started asking about Epstein. And Dave Smith had beat Josh Hammer in a debate. In fact, on this July 14th episode, Charlie has Josh Hammer on the episode. Asking about the evening, because that evening of July 14th, Erica, who did not attend SAS in Florida, boarded a private plane with Catherine Locastro. Again, that's Mikey McCoy's assistant. And she headed to Long Beach alongside.
And I think it's safe to say that they did not count on people getting on tracking apps for planes and tracking every single one of these planes. They just did not think that people were going to be smart enough to figure this out. And Baron Coleman has quite literally tracked down every single plane. They can't make it up. They lied. They lied.
Like I said, I'm not saying allegedly. Someone has come forward. So I will again, because it seems like Bobby Hild. He was one of the first people that I put an APB out for, because he was bizarrely standing alongside Shane Lyman. Remember, we learned, like, Phil Lyman's whole family owned that block. You know, the cameras of people walking, they were all tied to Caldera Engineering, walking down the block. I don't even think that's Tyler Robinson. Looks to me much more like Lance. And Phil Lyman's nephew and or cousin. Phil Lyman says it's a cousin.
It's crazy. And they feel the need to, before anybody even says anything, to push out so much crazy information, which just, it locks them into so much dumb shit and so many, and then it's one lie right after another to cover and keep covering. And then, you know, paid smeared campaigns to just, it's doing nothing. I mean, one would like to think that all the money that they're paying out for all this bullshit smearing, that they'd go broke.
Shaner says he's a nephew, but he and some friends uniquely traced the steps of the killer and showed people, this is the footprint. This is, look, he was here. This was on our property that this happened. Let's see those Instagram posts to jog your memory. You remember Robbie Hild.
This is Robbie Hild, which looks more like the person walking up the stairs in Tyler Robinson. Oh, yes. Everybody calls him out. Everybody calls out every single detail and lie. Oh, God, yes. Yes. Their mom, they have no answers because, well, first of all, Candace kept her cards close. And when she finally had that one-on-one meeting with Erica, she let her run off with whatever she was going to say. And then, you know, let it rip that, you know, that they're flying on personal jets. So Barron has, and Candace, every single flight in and out. And Erica was there much earlier than what she initially claimed she had been. And Andrew lied and said that he came in and collapsed on the tarmac with Erica. They flew in together. Andrew's wife flew alone. So, I mean, they've been caught in so many lies. But does this not look more like this guy here? Which, ironically, I cannot find anything on this guy. I mean, I can find him at BYU in his sports record, but that's about it. These people are related to Phil Lyman. So they apparently recruit a lot of people from BYU to be in the CIA. And this is the lead analysis that I was talking about, that she is going to show you that it is no longer allowed to be used.
Makeup. In 2004, however, the nation's most prestigious scientific body concluded that used chemistry to link crime scene bullets to ones that were possessed by suspects on the theory that each batch of lead had a unique elemental makeup. In 2004, however, the nation's most prestigious scientific body concluded that variations in the manufacturing process rendered the FBI's testimony about the science unreliable and potentially misleading. Specifically, the National Academy of Sciences said that decades of FBI statements to jurors linking a particular bullet to those found in a suspect's gun or cartridge box were so overstated that such testimony should be considered misleading under the federal rules of evidence. A year later, the Bureau abandoned the analysis. So the FBI came up with their own chemistry because they needed to match a bullet to the JFK case. Oh my gosh, it's just so amazing. It's just amazing that they're bringing that back because Charlie is just lucky, I guess. Lucky that they're getting back into chemistry. Flawed technique. We're going to use it. Don't worry. The ATF says it's inconclusive, which is the best they could do. But we needed to do this in 1963. And we're going to do it again. And kind of maybe all the same players are involved because we all know who killed JFK.
Yes. And in that filing that I just showed, it actually says the FBI already has the bullet fragment. Which, I mean, I don't know what is more disturbing. If legitimately, first of all, if a 30-06 bullet hit him in the neck and did not exit, there would be multiple bunches of fragments, not just a couple minute ones or one. And second, the ATF is not making it work. They actually did find a gun. They found a gun on somebody's private property in the back by the chicken coop. It was Tyler Robinson's, but I can't. Let me think for a second on what video I can point you to or who I can point you to that explains. I mean, so this was a whole ass setup. Like, you know, if Tyler Robinson is involved, and he might be, but he did not kill Charlie Kirk. He's the patsy, which means he played some kind of role in it. I personally don't think that he did. I think Lance did. It makes more sense to me, as well as half the world, because Lance comes from a family that lives in, well, actually, Lance is in Texas right now. He's not in protective custody, never was. And I personally think that it was Lance that was there, and Tyler just got caught up in it. He's the patsy.
Like, he'll do like 9 hours on trannies, you know, 100.
I love Tucker Carlson.
If your portfolio is over $250,000 and you aren't, you know what comes next. Can help head gold free.com.
Hey Charlie, so I agree with a lot of your takes regarding black crime, women, and like the LGBTQ community.
It's all right, you're good.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to get like some insight and perspective on what you think of the JFK assassination and why Israel's like kind of tied to it a lot.
Yeah, so there's really no evidence Israel's tied to it. I mean, the fact Mossad is mentioned in the JFK files doesn't mean Israel's tied to it. I actually don't believe it was Lee Harvey Oswald that acted alone. I think it's much more likely that it was Cuban intelligence and our own government that killed JFK.
You can actually see the mic sitting there again. With the outside being as it was. I remember where this is at. I think it's Texas.
For multiple reasons, and I believe there was a second shooter. Could go through all the reasons as to why, but I think it defies logic that Lee Harvey Oswald, who was a notoriously bad shot, somehow found himself all the way up in the, you know, what, the 4th floor or the 5th floor of the Texas School Book Depository, right as that motorcade was flying in a single bolt action rifle, being able to administer, I think it was 3 shots in 5 seconds with lethal precision, even though we all saw with our lying eyes in the Zapruder film, John F. Kennedy's head go back and to the left. If there are 2 shooters, that means that the Warren Commission, which was the official report on the JFK assassination, was fraudulent and was faulty. And we know from dozens of eyewitnesses and many first-person accounts that the thing called the Grassy Knoll, which is right there, which you all can visit in downtown Dallas, that there was activity there. They wouldn't allow people up there. People heard gunshots from there. If it wasn't for the Zapruder film, all this would just be hearsay.
Yes.
So I believe there were 2 shooters, but I think it's a much more likely explanation that our own government was either involved or aware, and Cuban intelligence also very much wanted JFK dead.
So do you not think it was a coincidence that Zapruder was Jewish and Jacob Rubinstein was Jewish as well?
Well, so, okay, I actually didn't even know Zapruder was Jewish, but why was that matter? And then if the video came out, how does that help or weaken the cause? I just...
It's not like a flat out statement. It's just like something to think about. Like, Israel's always tied to these type of events, so
yeah,
I'm just like wondering.
I would push it back a little bit on that. It's fine. It's a fair question. By the way, the way you get more anti-Semitism is by booing people that have questions like that. So we need to just talk about it. Again, in the JFK files, Mossad is mentioned. One of the reasons why Mossad is mentioned so much is that they're just a very good intelligence operation. It was not mentioned as if they were tied or that they knew about it or that they were involved. Again, I think the best reading of what happened there is who wanted JFK dead the most. Again, a lot of people said Israel wanted JFK dead. I'd love to hear that argument. But definitely Lyndon Baines Johnson and parts of our own government and the Cubans wanted him dead. And who actually made it happen? There were like 15 or 20 things that happened that day that were inexcusable. They changed the parade route. He rode in an open-air convertible. LBJ decided not to ride alongside of him. The vehicle slowed down right when it went by the Texas School Book Depository. A lot there, right? And then, again, I think that all of us are smarter to believe that it was simply Lee Harvey Oswald. The more important question is not, oh, who did it? We have to first acknowledge it that more than one person did it. Yeah. Once we acknowledge that more than one person did it, then we can expose our government to have lied to us about the JFK assassination, which then I think will sober a lot of us about trusting the government in the future.
And one more question. When do you think the Epstein files will be released?
Man, you're speaking my language. I think
What
the Epstein files need to be released yesterday. Okay. We need
What Epstein files? Are we still talking about the Epstein files? Come on. Come on, guys. I know. Isn't that crazy? There's also another video with Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson where he gets into an in-depth, you know, you can see as he's getting further and further away from the pro-Israel cause, talking about it's just so cringy. They think they're so smart. I mean, they had everybody fooled for a long time, but nobody's buying this no more. And then we're crazy to ask questions. To my knowledge, well, who's the first person looked at in a marriage when a spouse dies? The spouse. Who has the most to gain? It wasn't Tyler Robinson. They assumed, and wrongly assumed, that Charlie Kirk being a political figure, everybody was just going to accept it. They had that oh shit moment where the fragment of the battery hit his neck and made a separate wound. And they were like, oh shit, what do we do? That ruined everything. If it would have went as planned, they would have been able to say that he took a shot to the chest. Nobody would have known. And nobody probably would have questioned it. But that's not what happened. And then to tell us, as we're looking at the video and watching his security and all the people around him doing signs and gestures and acting weird in so many different ways, we shouldn't ask questions. And I mean, and if you look at the preponderance of the evidence, it's not Tyler Robinson. It's just not. It doesn't take rocket science, and we're not buying this bullshit no more. Can't keep shoving it down our throat. We're not going to take it, and we got to keep standing up for Charlie, because if we don't, nobody's going to. I don't know if you've seen this video or not. Blake Bednar's got it from UVU. So as you can see right from the rip, they made it to where there was sound issues. And just look how sketchy all these people are acting around him. Why are you going under the table? This is Hunter Kozak right here. Look at, he's rocking back and forth, nervous. And this guy's actually talking. You can't hear him because they have the sound messed up on purpose. Look at them. And you'll see these people are all texting and talking to each other. This is Mikey McCoy right here. I believe that's Blake. This is Terrell. I can't remember his name. What is his name? What's his name, Ray? And as you can see there, the mic, it's sitting on a weird angle. And it was just bad luck for them that it's sitting up on that angle that it is. And he happened to be sitting up the way he was when it went off. And it caused the shrapnel to pop his neck open. This little slimy ass. And if this video really did come from UVU, it begs the question, why were they honing in on certain things and just not Charlie? He's the speaker, but they seem to be making sure that all these people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then there's Butch coming in, so they made sure they panned over there and got that. Why?
What evidence do you have for that claim?
See how it's sitting kind of sideways? It was even bothering him, like he kept adjusting it. And it is the perfect, if you go on to John Bray's website, it is the perfect. You can quite literally see the piece of the battery fall out of the neck.
No, answer the question. Where is the...
What percentage has been excavated in America, specifically in Central America and all that stuff, where some of this is mostly plated?
I have watched this video too many times to count, and I've tried to do it every single time, focusing on one individual person at a time. Their actions, but I mean, they're just all sus. Every single one of them. Him. Ryan Harpole over here. Rick Cutler, that's somewhere up here.
Right, so without kind of the word salad, where is the evidence? Where are the defects? There's nothing, right? Yeah. Where's the evidence for the laminates? No, hold on. You said evidence. You said that you think that LDS has more evidence. I just named two critical parts of the evidence. Let me finish without interrupting. And there's no evidence for either. Yes. Where are the golden tablets? How many of the people who originally followed Joseph Smith continue to follow him throughout of the 11 that saw the golden tablets?
Trying to get each other's attention.
Now, hold on, 5 out of the 11 stopped following him.
They never recounted their testimony of seeing the angel.
And does it not seem like that the camera person was shaking their head yes, like a signal? Their time. That's the opposition. And I say it's the paid opposition. That was the extent of it. Fuck you, Charlie. Fuck you, Charlie. if you notice, they cut the sound again, so it was gonna be heard that the opposition was in there. F you, Charlie. F you, Charlie. To go with that narrative. It breaks my heart, and to look at him and know just what he went through days leading up to this, and that all these people betrayed him in the biggest way. It's so gross. It's disgusting. It breaks my heart for him. And then to continue to use his name on his accounts to further make them look like they're better people is just wrong. It's sick. It shouldn't be allowed.
Jesus said it was a well, hold on. When you resurrect from the dead, I'm going to trust you when it comes to scripture. Muhammad did not rise from the dead. Muhammad was a child molesting, warmongering maniac.
So we're going to take that into account. We got Romulus, who's supposedly resurrected. We got Apollonius of Tyana, who Eusebius talks about, who reads Jesus almost identically in the first century, who preached a lot of the same things, live after the spiritual realm, worship God, who's referred to
just got Mikey's attention.
God, born of a virgin.
Romulus resurrected. What were you talking about?
Romulus was ascended into, that's a tradition.
What Christian tradition is that?
I'm talking about Apollonius now.
No, hold on, but no, we're talking Christian.
Again, this is UVU video, supposedly. Why is it focused over here where Frank Turek and Brian Harpole? This is Brian Harpole, Frank Turek. Why is it focusing over there instead of on the speaker?
Where's the Christian belief or evidence?
It's a picking and choosing.
No, it's not. I'm saying that Jesus Christ is Lord. Jesus Christ being Lord, he established. Okay.
People resurrect.
I think you're interrupting a little too much. Okay. So again, we have just theological differences. Galatians 1. Are you familiar with Galatians 1? It says, what is it? It says, even if an angel comes to you and says that it adds to the gospel, do not believe the angel. So, didn't Paul warn about potential angels coming in?
Tell me the context of Galatians 1. Who is Paul and Barnabas teaching to?
The Church of Galatia.
No, who is specifically confronting?
Heresies in the church at the time.
Church, right? Okay, so I'll tell you. Because apparently there's a lot of content here. So Paul is preaching to the Judaizers and they're teaching circumcision. Paul taught that circumcision was no longer necessary. So he came and said, well, basically the Judaizers said, go and confront Peter, James, and John in Jerusalem on this matter, which they did at the Council of Jerusalem. So here's the thing.
Look,
again, trying to get his attention.
Look, we just have a different worldview. I believe the Word of God is complete. I do not believe that God the Father, the Spirit, and the Son are separate. I believe they are one.
And I have watched plenty of campus events. None of this is going on like this. None of it. The sound is perfect. They have a sound table where this guy's right here chilling at the table, taking care of business. Everything's running smooth.
In the Trinity. And I would like to use our valuable time with our wonderful LDS friends. And again, I would just ask you, as you continue in your journey of faith, show me the core evidence of why you believe what you believe, specifically archaeologically. And I think that's an important thing you need to pray about. You can ask one last question, but I think the further we go down this, the audience gets more and more of the impression I'm against
fumbling
LDS.
with what's in his pocket.
So
That's
I don't want to spend too much time on that because I think other scholars might be better.
It was definitely one of a kind. He didn't deserve what he got. I don't think anybody does, but he was a good person.
Christianity is on the basis of the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ.
In addition to the creation of the world.
And the creation of Christ. So are those objectable things you can prove?
And if you think about how hard he fought to prevent us from going to war with Iran and was successful, that was such a huge deal for him. Like, and it's really what signed his death certificate, because, you know, Israel wanted to go to war and he talked Trump out of it. And then he started backing away from the pro-Israel cause. And I mean, there's way more facts and evidence, I think, leading credence to this being what happened than it by far Tyler Robinson or some kid. Can't never forget it. And then they take him out, and it's not even 6-7 months, and Bibi Netanyahu is right back in there, and our greatest ally has us over there killing innocent people.
Yes. Yes. How? Well, the empty tomb. The over 500 witnesses that saw the resurrected Jesus. Let me finish. The Apostle Paul, the Gospel of Luke, the female witnesses, which if you were going to make up the resurrection, you wouldn't use female witnesses. Even external biblical evidence, such as Josephus and the Talmud, even acknowledged that early followers of Christianity, they believed in the resurrected Christ. The 41 creeds of the early believers that are incorporated in the New Testament that talked about the resurrected Christ, not to mention 1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord, and God over all, Christ is King. Well, hold on. Josephus was a non-Christian scholar. Well, he was a Roman Jewish scholar. Not a Christian. Right, that's the point, is that it proved it. The audience, I kind of want you to move on. God bless you. I love Mormons. Thank you so much.
They really are. You are not wrong, Howie. I don't think it's too late, though. I think there's hope, personally, because people like us are aware of what they're doing and how they've infiltrated our churches, they've infiltrated our mainstream media, our social media. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't disagree with you at all. But I don't think it's too late. I don't think they counted. I think this was their biggest downfall. Had they not done this, they might have got away with continuing to do. It's blatantly in our face. You can see it. Our president gets up there and speaks, and it's like, it's an embarrassment. It's gross. He has a Jewish dude standing next to him, like, say the right thing. Always.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, this is working. Hey, Charlie. Hey, hopefully we're going to have a little bit more disagreement.
Yes.
All right. Hi, yeah, so just wanted to...
And I believe that this war was to try and distract from Epstein. And, you know, Charlie pushed hard for the Epstein files to be released. Just look how gross and how it happened with Pam Bondi. She was the nastiest. Ugh. I mean, I despise her. But she was his minion, true and true, and she lied and covered up everything. Despite being a woman, maybe even having kids. She's not fired. I don't believe that for a second. She had to be a good girl, a good soldier, and take it on the chin for the greater cause. And then he put his personal lawyer. I mean, one could hope, but I think she's got a cushy spot there. She knew she was going to have to do this because it didn't work. they thought, oh, we're going to go to war and people are going to forget about Epstein. It's gotten to the point where he's outright saying it to our face. Are you still talking about Epstein? Well, yeah, nothing was ever done. Nobody has been in trouble. Nobody has faced charges. Yeah.
A few weeks ago,
And you can totally tell this guy over here is messing with that sound, and I believe he takes that from his pocket and he has it under his arm. And he's the one that detonates when this asshole right here does the arm signal.
weeks later, the Trump DOJ said that we should start talking about revoking gun rights for transgender Americans. I think it's important to say, yes, is that what you said? All right, great.
You didn't go to bed? I'm happy you're still here.
So, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
This is something that we all peeped right from the beginning. Like, what was that? What's he doing with his arm? Why was it like a half a second or not even a millisecond before what happened? It didn't seem right.
Gang violence.
Great. Now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
And they're not under here doing any kind of life-saving measures. They're trying to get that battery pack out from under his shirt so that when they seen what went wrong, it was an oh shit moment. So they're trying to play cleanup. And I know that motion claims that there was autopsy photos, so it should be quite interesting. Because I know from still photography pictures that I seen from I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name, but he was a professional photographer here. Charlie had burns and marks on his chest and his lower body that are not going to make sense. So if the pictures really exist, it should be interesting to see how that plays out, really. We don't need to watch that because he blends it with Life is Driving, which we already seen. And the Vance Kirk right in our face, like, who the hell do you people think you are? Do you honestly think you're gonna get away with this? Like, we're gonna all be like, oh, hells yeah. sign us up. It's like, might as well just drink poison. So John Bray, I have no idea why, because you can put just about anything you want on X. He's never had a problem. Every single person that had a video with the blood pouring out and everything has never had a problem on X. But for some reason, they decided he's getting too close is the problem. He is right there on the cusp of explaining every single detail. So they locked his account for a hot second. He's super smart. Super smart guy. Like, you can see right there where the square part of the back of that shot up and then falls back down into his shirt and his necklace. Which, why isn't the necklace in evidence? You couldn't have planned this any... It's like they thought of every single what if, stupidly, down to Erica ordering the clothes that Charlie wears and making it look like she's the grieving widow. Not once has she ever... and I never, even in the beginning, until I seen her come out for the first time, did I ever even think that was a possibility. But let me tell you, the moment I seen her come on stage, immediately, it did not feel right. She does. 100%. Yep. It's, she's been seen... I don't know if you remember... I don't know which memorial it was, because he had two. But she's in the back of the car. She has her hand hanging out the window. Well, the necklace is intertwined in her fingers. Frank claims that he found it on his luggage in the SUV. Again, why wasn't it collected as evidence? Don't know. I guess same reason the crime scene was paved over and the truck was auctioned off. I know that them coming out and feeling the need to say so many dumb things like he was the man of steel, he ate salad, he had strong bones, and all this, and Andrew claiming that he spoke to the doctor is really starting to piss a bunch of people off, because the doctor is like, whoa, that is HIPAA, I can't and wouldn't. So it's like they can't just keep their mouth shut about the smallest things. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yep. That is all she cared about from the rip, is selling that merch. Got that audio of her. Cannot stand this. It's like, at what point... I don't know. It's gonna... I guess it's gonna have to go through the process of court, and then hopefully Tyler Robinson doesn't get found guilty. And then someone's got some explaining to do. Somebody better do a real investigation. I wish they would fire Kash Patel. Oh, that was something else I forgot to mention. Joe Kent has offered to be a witness for the defense. So that is really good. And that pissed everybody off on X. My God, they went nuts. He's a traitor. He's a traitor. He leaked all this information. He's a traitor. He should be arrested. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens prior to him being able to testify. But he is going to testify on behalf of the defense. Were you able to hear that? I screwed that up. I just did a Baron, didn't I?
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and the stadium, overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, is it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do. And
This is not even a week after he's assassinated, and that's all she cares about is sales. That's it, sales. These people just go nonstop for her cause. Look at that. No, that is not the same person. No way. I gotta be honest, I think it's a little disturbing that people are able to create his voice in fake videos like that. And if you didn't see, we had a couple of our planes shot down. Our fighter jets shot down in Iran today. This is my favorite. She goes on book tour.
You know, and
The last few chapters,
and never having read the book.
It's just because my heart's not there yet. because there's only so many firsts you get in your life, and there's going to be the first and last time that I read that book for the first time.
Again, I read the whole thing, you know, and
I'll be honest, I
absorbed.
can't read the last few pages. I'm not there yet. It's just emotionally, because
I
once this
understand.
book is done, it's done.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, everybody thinks we should all mourn a certain way.
Right.
Okay, well, until you walk a mile in someone else's shoes, you know, don't lecture people.
100%.
The last few chapters, and it's not because of timing, it's just because my heart's not there yet. Because there's only so many.
Who doesn't read their dead husband's book? His last words. What's going on there? But they are censoring like a mug on YouTube. Even X is starting to censor in a big way. I know my videos are so out of the algorithm right now because of doing so much on the little place the size of New Jersey and any of the questionable Epstein stuff. So yeah, they bumped me in the algorithm in a major way. So anybody, guys, if you're watching, like it, subscribe. It helps boost it back up into the algorithm. It's going to take me a couple weeks to get back up in there, and I'm going to have to watch what I say and speak in code because they're really hammering down on everything. It's like free speech with a hindrance. It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd. So Diana, I am thinking that I'm gonna book my ticket for like 2 weeks out. Yeah. Yep. And I didn't forget about doing web with you, by the way. I have it. It's all set up. I've tried to look through some of it. So if you want to set up a time, we can go tomorrow. I mean, I don't have anything going on. I believe Phoenix. And then I'm gonna find a Airbnb while out there, and I think I'll be there probably maybe 4 days minus day in and day out. So 4 full days of being able to go around, and I want to go. I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want to be hindered when I get there. And I might have got bumped down an algorithm on YouTube, but they're on my ass on X in a big way. Oh well. Somebody's got to speak the truth. But I did, yeah, I looked through some of, I don't know, it was Sandy Hook and the FBI Vault, and there's buku 9/11 files, and of course the Jeff files. So really, we can start digging wherever you want, or I don't know if you, I don't know, we can go through and look at the FBI Vault because it has named so much stuff in there that it's mind-blowing. Like the Is it the Zodiac Killer? He the one that wasn't caught, the Zodiac Killer? Oh. The cat brought you a baby rabbit? Yes, keep it. Cat wants a friend. It didn't hurt it? That's awesome. Oh, yeah. That's all I got for tonight, guys. Well, I mean, I have actually information overload, but to put it together, because so much happened in the last week, so I don't know. I'll spend tomorrow during the day grasping whatever I didn't hit on today. And then, Diana, we can make a plan. If you want to go through the files, we can do that. I am cool with whatever. But I am going to get off here and go to bed. Hope everybody has a good rest of your night. And I will see you again tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Don't put your email in here. How do I get it? How would I get it? Go to my email. Can you hit my email? It should be in the description. And then send me your email. That way there everybody's not emailing you. Oh, okay. All right, good. I'll check it. And then I'll email you. 2 guinea pigs. And I have food. Well, as long as you can keep it and feed it, and I don't know if it's wild. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about rabbits. It's not injured though. Hopefully. Good night, everybody.